The Gospel today about how the wine ran out at the wedding in Cana and how Mary asks Jesus to do something about it, and he does, ends with these words. This, the first of his miraculous signs, Jesus performed at Cana in Galilee. He thus revealed his glory, and his disciples put their faith in him. The Gospel of John speaks often about signs and about faith. Signs, as you all know, point to something, and it is that greater thing that we are meant to grasp, and not simply the sign itself. The first sign that Jesus did points to many things about himself and what he was about. I would just like to talk about a few this morning. Jesus turning water into wine is itself a picture of all that he came to do. Jesus takes what is and shows us that it has the possibility to become something else. What is? That which is tired, worn out, empty and without hope can be transformed. It can be turned into something remarkable through his presence, through his care. There is a lot of gospel in that for all of us. Jesus can bring hope. He can take whatever it is that we bring to him, no matter how little or how much, and utterly transform it. John notes that the wine came from the huge 30-gallon jugs that stood full of water at the front of the house, vessels that were used to fulfill the rules on ceremonial washing. Even a wedding feast had to honour the rituals of cleansing. Jesus transformed those jugs, ponderous symbols of the old way, into harbingers of the new. The time for ritual cleansing had passed. The time for transformation and hope had begun. The gospel story emphasizes the abundance of Jesus' provision of wine. The wedding guests went from having no wine at all to having an abundance. Now the age of the Messiah was long expected to be one of abundance, one in which the wine of joy, the cup of salvation, would always be full and overflowing. Thus this miracle is a sign of Jesus' messiahship. He is the long-awaited deliverer of Israel. He provides more than is needed. We can notice more about that in this morning's reading from the book of Isaiah. The prophet tells us that the time of Israel's restoration and vindication will be a time of abundance and hope. The fact that the first sign that Jesus did was at a wedding would not be lost on people. It was their belief that at the time of salvation, God would provide a table for feasting for his servants and a cup that would never run dry. That imagery is in fact present in the much-loved 23rd Psalm of David. In this, his first sign, Jesus also stresses the place of his mother Mary in the work of redemption. It is Mary who triggers Jesus' first act of public ministry by saying to him, "They have no wine." It was a simple request, showing that she trusted that her son would immediately respond and help. Jesus' response to her seemed slightly brusque. He said, "Woman, what is that to me and you? My hour has not yet come." The only other place where Jesus calls his mother woman is at his passion as she stood beneath the cross. Which leads me to the last thing for us to note today about this, the first sign that Jesus did. The miracle at Cana is, among other things, a preview of the Last Supper. By telling Mary, "My hour has not yet come," Jesus links what she is asking him to do with his sacrifice on the cross. The best wine is saved for last, the wine of salvation, a salvation won for us completely by Jesus Christ, when he gave up his life for us, a salvation that is not just for one day, but forever. In the miracle of Jesus changing water into wine, we see that God meets us in that place where we are, that God cares about every detail in our lives, and that God walks beside us in transformation and hope. Moreover, this miracle is a sign that points us to the cross where Jesus dies to change despair to hope and death to life. If we look back to the first 4 words of today's passage, we'll see that this miracle took place on the 3rd day. And of course, Jesus' death is not the end of the story, for he was raised on the 3rd day. And it doesn't end there, for in heaven we will join the great wedding banquet with the bridegroom, Jesus Christ. Mary tells the servants in today's reading, "Do whatever Jesus tells you." That is what faith is all about, responding to the words of Jesus, trusting that his words will be fulfilled, trusting that as he transformed water into wine, so he will transform us and lead us into the kingdom. There is eternal hope in these difficult times, and it is so important to cling to God's promises in his word, that he will always be with us, that he is our transformation and hope. And in our readings today, we have that incredible vision from the book of Revelation of the marriage of the Lamb, a mysterious vision of Christ and his church. It is an image at the center of our hope as his church, and confirmation that we can know that God is at the center of all that we do, as we strive to keep our focus on him. So we say, "Blessed be the name of the Lord, day by day." Amen.